Hello, drama lovers, welcome back to my channel. Today, The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, April 6th. Indicate that Kane Ashby will have a frosty response to Lily Winters, while Jack Abbott strikes out with Diane Jenkins, Abbott once again. At Crimson Lights, Holden Novak will decline Kane's job offer since it would require manipulating Claire Newman for Victor Newman intel. Meanwhile, Lily will have a discussion with Devin Winters about Dominic Winters' abduction and whether Mariah Copeland belongs in prison. Although Lily will think Mariah's psychiatric hospital stay is the best thing for her, Devin won't like the fact that she didn't truly get punished for her crime. Devin will think Mariah knew enough to know right from wrong and that she deserves more than a cushy mental hospital stint. Over with Abby, she'll discuss the Mariah situation with Daniel Romalotti Jr. as well. Daniel will think Mariah's mental health treatment is the best option and will hope healing will be possible for everyone eventually. However, Devin will be fuming when he meets up with Lily at the restaurant. After Devin vows to make sure the judge and district attorney don't get reelected, he'll stick with his belief that Mariah deserves prison time. At the athletic club, Jack will try to convince Diane to forgive him, but he'll blunder his plea by bringing up Victor. Jack won't want Victor to win, but Diane will angrily put the focus back on what Jack did with Patty Williams in bed. Drugged or not, Jack still made a choice according to Diane. After Diane admits she's too angry to get past this, she'll join Kyle Abbott for dinner and make it clear that Jack isn't invited. Kyle will speak privately with Diane about the drama that could be brewing at Jabot if she remains at odds with Jack. Diane will refuse to take a leave of absence because of Jack's actions. When Diane questions if Kyle intends to fire her, he'll insist he won't. Kyle will just want peace between his parents, but he'll finally stop pressuring Diane since that's not fair to her. That said, Kyle won't really know what Diane expects of him. When Kyle asks if Diane wants him to give up on their reunion and hate Jack, she'll suggest maybe he could hate Jack a little bit. Diane will eventually lose her appetite and ditch her dinner with Kyle, so he'll seem worried about her on Monday's Y&R episode. At the Abbott mansion, Tracy Abbott will console Jack over his issues with Diane and give him a nudge to keep fighting for their future. Back at the coffee house, Kane will be as cold as ice when Lily approaches him for a conversation. Kane will be offended over Lily finally wanting to talk after all those times he tried to make things right. Once Kane walks away, Holden will corner Lily and get the news that the kidnapping was a ruse. Holden will feel like Kane is headed down a bad road since he's got something big brewing against Victor. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Holden will try to steer Lily away from the danger, but will she listen? That Holden was adopted and never received any information about his biological parents. Alternatively, it's conceivable that Stephanie claimed Holden was the child of another man, which could explain why Holden has the last name Novak. Regardless, this is clearly not going to turn into a heartwarming family tale, at least not at this moment. Whether Holden uncovers the truth about both biological parents or simply faces a shocking revelation about his paternity, trouble is on the horizon. If Holden were to embrace Malcolm and Stephanie wholeheartedly, they would likely want to remain in Genoa City for some family time. It wouldn't be very soapy if Holden accepted Malcolm and Stephanie with open arms. Moreover, it wouldn't be very dramatic if Holden were overjoyed, and we didn't see any conflict arising from this unexpected twist. Instead, Holden might react negatively and distance himself from both of them. He could outright reject Malcolm and Stephanie, insisting that he wants no relationship with either. This could quickly send Stephanie and Malcolm off the canvas again, while Lily Winters connects with her new biological half-brother. Lily might attempt to reach out to Holden and help him become more open to his biological family. Shamar returns to filming with Vivica this month to bring more closure to the story. According to Shamar Moore's interview with TV Insider, he will be returning to filming alongside Vivica A. Fox this month, aiming to bring more closure to the story. This could lead to a moment where Holden shows some softness. The next time Stephanie and Malcolm are in town, Holden might part ways with them on better terms. This would allow for some family bonding before they have to depart again. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that a lot of excitement is coming due to hidden secrets, so stay tuned. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now. Come back here often for The Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the week of April 6th, 2026. Fans can expect Matt Clark to corner Nick Newman. Malcolm Winters and Stephanie Simmons makes a sacrifice for Claire Grace Newman. Keep reading to find out what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Evil Confrontation. Let's start off with Matt. The villain will likely hear that Nick has been asking questions about him. However, with Nick addicted and getting even worse, Matt could end up with the upper hand. It is stated that Matt corners Nick, which doesn't sound good at all. Meanwhile, Adam Newman continues trying to earn Reza Thompson's trust. While Adam is doing that, he also seems to be getting too into the spider persona. One man sacrifice over with Holden. He ends up making a sacrifice for Claire. Even though he could do what Kane Ashby wants, he will end up telling him no deal. Holden doesn't think it would be right for Kane to use Claire to get intel about Victor Newman. While that was very sweet of Holden, it also means Kane will find someone else to do it for him. Holden also tries to issue a warning to Lily Winters. The man will tell Lily that Kane has snapped and to steer clear. However, I have a feeling that Lily might earn redemption by jumping in to save her ex-husband. Later in the week, Lily asks Tracy Abbott for guidance. Apology not accepted. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of April 6th reveal that Jack Abbott will continue trying to get Diane Jenkins Abbott back. No matter what the man says or does, Diane will keep saying no. Abby Winters reconnects with an old friend. This friend turns out to be Daniel Romalotti, Jr. While they will reconnect, Abby also tries to pry information about Mariah Copeland from Daniel. Multiple returns. There are also a few returning characters to discuss. First up, we have Malcolm. The man comes back to town with a secret. Lily will do what she can to help him, though. Stephanie will also make a surprise visit to Genoa City. Malcolm and Stephanie will have a tough conversation about their past. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of April 6th, 2026? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. In Genoa City, tensions surge as old rivalries reignite. Long absent faces return with unfinished business, and one man makes a decision that could change everything. The clash between Matt and Nick intensifies into something far more personal than either expected, while two surprising returns send shockwaves through the community. At the center of it all, Holden finds himself at a crossroads, ultimately choosing sacrifice over self-preservation in a move that may define his legacy. The conflict between Matt and Nick begins as a simmering disagreement, but quickly escalates into a full-blown confrontation. What once seemed like a manageable dispute rooted in business or personal pride becomes deeply emotional. Nick, known for his strong moral compass and protective instincts, finds himself pushed to his limits as Matt continues to challenge him at every turn. Matt, on the other hand, carries a calculated edge. His words are sharp, his intentions often ambiguous, and his actions designed to provoke. As their rivalry unfolds, it becomes clear that this is not just about power or control. It's about history, resentment, and unresolved grievances. Nick struggles to keep his composure, especially when Matt begins to cross lines that should never be crossed. Accusations fly, secrets begin to surface, and both men dig in their heels, unwilling to back down. Those around them start to feel the ripple effects, as friends and family are forced to choose sides or attempt to mediate a situation that seems increasingly beyond repair. Meanwhile, the city is rocked by the return of two individuals whose presence alone is enough to stir up chaos. These returns are not coincidental. They are deliberate, timed in a way that suggests a deeper connection to the ongoing turmoil. The first return brings a sense of nostalgia mixed with unease. This individual carries a complicated past with several key players in Genoa City, and their reappearance raises immediate questions. Why now? What do they want? And how will their presence impact the already fragile balance of relationships? The second return is even more explosive. Unlike the first, this person arrives with clear intentions and little regard for the consequences. Their history is marked by conflict, betrayal, and unfinished business, making their comeback a ticking time bomb. Old wounds are reopened, alliances are tested, and secrets that were once buried threaten to resurface. For some, this return offers a chance at redemption or closure. For others, it signals the beginning of a new nightmare. As these storylines intertwine, Holden emerges as a central figure caught in the crossfire. Known for his loyalty and quiet strength, Holden has always been someone others can rely on. However, the current situation places him in an impossible position. He is torn between his sense of duty and his desire to protect those he cares about. The choices he faces are not easy, and each path carries significant consequences. Holden's internal struggle is deeply compelling. He understands the stakes better than most and recognizes that inaction is not an option. As tensions between Matt and Nick reach a boiling point and the returning figures begin to make their presence felt, Holden realizes that something must be done to prevent everything from spiraling out of control. The burden he carries is immense, and the weight of responsibility begins to take its toll. In a pivotal moment, Holden makes a decision that surprises even those closest to him. Instead of choosing the safer path, he opts to put himself on the line for the greater good. His sacrifice is not impulsive. It is the result of careful consideration and a deep understanding of what is at stake. He knows that his actions may come at a personal cost, but he is willing to pay that price if it means protecting others and restoring some sense of order. This act of sacrifice becomes a turning point in the story. It forces everyone involved to reassess their priorities and confront the reality of the situation. For Nick, it serves as a wake-up call, reminding him of what truly matters and the kind of man he wants to be. For Matt, it introduces an unexpected element of doubt, perhaps even a hint of regret, as he begins to see the consequences of his actions more clearly. The returning characters also play a significant role in shaping the aftermath of Holden's decision. Their presence adds layers of complexity to the narrative, as their motivations and connections to the main players continue to unfold. Each interaction reveals new information, deepening the intrigue and keeping everyone guessing about what will happen next. As the dust begins to settle, the relationships between the characters are forever changed. Trust has been broken and rebuilt in unexpected ways. Alliances have shifted and new dynamics have emerged. The conflict between Matt and Nick, while still unresolved, takes on a different tone. There's a sense that both men have been affected by everything that has transpired, and that their future interactions may be influenced by the lessons learned during this tumultuous period. Holden's sacrifice does not go unnoticed. It becomes a defining moment not only for him but for everyone who witnesses it. His actions inspire some, challenge others, and leave a lasting impact on the community as a whole. Whether his decision ultimately leads to positive change or further complications remains to be seen, but there is no denying the courage it took for him to step forward when it mattered most. In the end, this chapter in Genoa City is marked by intensity, emotion, and transformation. The clash between Matt and Nick highlights the dangers of unchecked rivalry and the importance of understanding and communication. The two dramatic returns remind everyone that the past is never truly gone, and that unresolved issues have a way of resurfacing when least expected. And Holden's sacrifice serves as a powerful reminder of the strength it takes to put others before oneself, even in the face of uncertainty. As the story continues to unfold, one thing is certain: nothing will ever be the same. The events that have taken place have set the stage for even more drama, deeper connections, and unexpected twists. Genoa City remains as unpredictable as ever, with its residents navigating a landscape shaped by love, betrayal, and the enduring power of choice. The fallout from Holden's sacrifice doesn't arrive all at once. It spreads slowly, like cracks forming beneath the surface of Genoa City. At first, there's a stunned silence among those closest to him. No one quite knows how to process what he's done. His decision wasn't just brave, it was disruptive. It shifted the emotional balance of every relationship tied to him, forcing people to confront truths they had long avoided. Nick, in particular, is deeply shaken. For all his strength and conviction, he hadn't anticipated that things would go this far. Watching Holden step into the line of fire, figuratively or otherwise, forces Nick to reevaluate his own role in the chaos. He begins to question whether his stubbornness, his refusal to back down from Matt, helped create the very situation that demanded such a sacrifice. The guilt isn't immediate, but it creeps in, growing heavier with each passing moment. Matt, meanwhile, reacts in a way that surprises even himself. Where he once thrived on control and confrontation, Holden's actions introduce something unfamiliar: hesitation. For the first time, Matt is forced to see the consequences of his manipulation not as strategic wins, but as real damage inflicted on real people. He doesn't transform overnight, far from it, but there's a subtle shift. His words lose a bit of their edge, his confidence flickers, and beneath it all, there's a growing awareness that he may have pushed things too far. As these emotional currents intensify, the two mysterious returns begin to assert their influence more directly. The first return, initially met with cautious curiosity, starts weaving back into the fabric of Genoa City. This individual reconnects with old allies, but those reunions are anything but simple. There are lingering grudges, unresolved betrayals, and a sense that not everything is being said out loud. Still, their presence brings moments of unexpected warmth, brief reminders of what once was before everything became so complicated. The second return, however, is a different story entirely. There is nothing subtle about their intentions. They move with purpose, inserting themselves into key situations at exactly the right or wrong moments. It quickly becomes clear that they are not here to make peace. Instead, they seem driven by a need to settle scores, to reclaim power, or perhaps to expose truths that others would rather keep hidden. Their interactions with both Matt and Nick are particularly charged, suggesting a deeper connection to the central conflict than anyone initially realized. This convergence of storylines creates an atmosphere of constant tension. Conversations are layered with subtext. Every glance carries meaning, and even the quietest moments feel like they could erupt at any second. Relationships that once seemed stable begin to fracture under the pressure. Friends become wary of one another, unsure of who to trust. Long-standing alliances are tested, and in some cases, completely dismantled. In the midst of all this, Holden's absence or reduced presence, depending on the circumstances of his sacrifice, looms large. His influence doesn't disappear. If anything, it becomes more pronounced. People find themselves asking what Holden would do, how he would handle the situation, or whether they can live up to the example he set. His sacrifice becomes a kind of moral compass, even for those who don't fully understand it. For Nick, this translates into a gradual shift in approach. While he doesn't abandon his principles, he begins to temper his reactions. He listens more, reacts less impulsively, and starts to consider the broader impact of his decisions. This evolution doesn't go unnoticed. Some see it as growth, a sign that he's learning from the past. Others view it with suspicion, wondering if it's a temporary change brought on by guilt rather than a lasting transformation.